Welcome back everybody, I'm Tassie with Tassie Eats, and today I'm going to be doing a tasty recipe. So this is their cheese-stuffed pizza pretzel, and I actually made it having never worked with pizza crust in a tube before, and while making it, it seemed kind of plain again, but it looked really good though when it came out of the oven. I was like, wow, this looks really good. It looks better than it did on Tasty. So I'm excited. Now, what I did do for condiments though, I have marinara. They suggested to eat it with like marinara and or pizza sauce, but I have marinara, and then I also did a butter garlic sauce. And I like to eat my pizza crust with butter garlic. So if you ever go to like a pizza store and they have the option to get that as a dipping, I always get it, or else I typically eat like my pizza crust with ranch. So this just came out of the oven. It's pretty hot, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And I actually put a lot more pepperoni on there than it called for, than what I saw in the video. And I actually cooked mine on parchment paper, so I didn't use the pan spray that they use, like a vegetable oil kind of spray. I just put it on parchment paper. It didn't stick at all. I tend to cook a lot on parchment paper. Ooh, look at that cheese. So there's tons of cheese in here. It's about a cup of cheese per pretzel. The only pretzel thing about these is that is the shape. It's this is pizza dough. Really good. I love stuffed crust pizza. So if you love stuffed crust pizza, make this, because it's just like a whole thing of stuffed crust pizza. Yeah. I would recommend though, if you make it yourself. So when Tasty does it, it's literally just pizza crust from a tube. On the inside, they stuff mozzarella in there, shredded mozzarella. I thought it would be better with like like just if you take like a block of mozzarella and you cut them into squares so that they're kind of smaller, and then you just line it up and then close and fold the wrapping over it, the crust. I would probably do that in the future if I ever did this, because I found that stretching the dough out to get a big enough path for you to sprinkle the shredded mozzarella on there, I felt like it was really messy and harder than it should be, because it said like a cup per pretzel, so I really wanted to fit a whole cup of shredded cheese on there. It just seemed like it'd be easier. You just got a block of mozzarella and cut it up. Oh, the butter with garlic. Oh yeah, that's what I was getting at. If you're gonna do it, I would recommend before you sprinkle on the pepperoni and the extra mozzarella, glaze it with the butter and garlic. So it's kind of like you're making breadsticks almost. Butter and garlic. That is the way to go. Oh my God. It adds so much more flavor than just the marinara. Butter and garlic. And it's literally just, I melted about 3 tablespoons of butter, and I cut up about 1.5. It was like 1 clove and then a smaller clove of garlic, and just a pinch of salt, a very little amount of salt, and that's it. It's amazing. The marinara is good. But I feel like the flavor is really strong. And it's not like it adds to the flavor of this item here, the stuffed pizza pretzel here. Whereas the butter and garlic really just adds to the flavor. It's so fattening though. This is really good. So far, out of my tasty recipes, this is my favorite. The only thing is I would add just the butter and garlic, basting it before you put it in the oven. And probably sprinkle on Parmesan. You know, you can use the one in the bottle. I don't see the need to like do fresh Parmesan shredded on here. This is a very, very kid-friendly type of like appetizer. I don't have any kids of my own, but I have a ton of nieces and nephews, and I was a kid, and I'm still a big kid, so that's why this is like really great type of food item to give to kids, and they're really simple. And these are really big. I mean, like, look at how big it is. Is it bigger than my face? So it's just like, it's huge. So if you were gonna make it for like a party or something, maybe roll it out like in a log and then cut them. And instead of making 3 of them, maybe just cut the pizza crust in half and then stuff it all and then layer the other one on top. So it's kind of like a huge hot pocket. That's what you should do. My favorite thing on a pizza is the crust. I'm not a huge fan of like the marinara, and sometimes on some pizzas they put too much cheese on there, where it's like cheap cheese or something, and it's all blocky and just this huge like lard of cheese. So I'm not a big fan of cheese, of like the inside of the pizza. It was funny because I was dating this one guy, and he loves pizza. Who doesn't? And I told him though, I don't like the inside of the pizza. Like, I'll eat all your crusts. And suddenly he has this great idea. I also love crust. So it was like we were always fighting for the crust, and I'm just like, dude, when we started dating, you said you're not a huge fan, or it's not something you always crave. But it's like, the minute I wanted it, it's suddenly like you wanted it too. No bueno. It's one of those things, I swear. It's like when suddenly you make it valuable. Mm-mm. This is really good. With that butter garlic sauce here, it makes it all that much better. It's like eating stuffed, cheesy garlic bread. Yeah, I don't care too much for the marinara. That's just okay. So parchment paper, I love cooking with it. There's a girl I know, and she actually works, I think she works at like co-ops, and in like, I think she used to work in some kind of kitchen, a large kind of kitchen. I'm gonna call it a cafeteria, but I don't think it's for kids. It was like, they always use very healthy type of foods. Anyways, she taught me about always baking on parchment paper. She was like, they cook on parchment paper, they do everything on parchment paper, because as soon as you're done, you just slide it off and the whole pan is clean still. And, you know, I've always known about parchment paper, but I've always kind of aligned it with like cookies and stuff like that, baking. It totally makes sense though. You can just cook food on parchment paper. So since then, I don't use aluminum foil a lot, you know. I used to always use aluminum foil, but now, you know, aluminum foil, it can be a pain to work with too. Especially if something's really greasy and the foil kind of sticks to the pan. That's the worst. But parchment paper does not work good on like open flames. And when would you use that on open flame? When you're grilling, and you know, and then there's like actual flames. Don't think you can replace it from aluminum foil, okay? The parchment paper will burn. So don't do it to open flames. These are really filly too. And it was hard making the pretzel shape, because when it comes out of the tube, the pizza crust, it's only about like this long. So you cut them in 3 pieces, and then you're supposed to stretch them out so that it fits everything, and then you're supposed to like pinch them all together so that it closes into a tube. And then you're supposed to take this tube and then, you know, like do the pretzel shape. But it was really hard. I had to like keep stretching it, and then as I was stretching the pizza crust stuffed with mozzarella, a few pieces and ends would start to crack open, and I had to go back and re-pinch those together again. So it was a real pain actually. And then I found that it's easier if you just kind of stretch it as far as you can manage without doing it too hard and struggling too much, and then just form the the pretzel shape, and then when it's in its shape, just move it, and then so that it gets wider and bigger. But you know, like after you make it, they all like kind of clump together. So this is like the back of it. So it's just like there's no hole in there like a traditional pretzel. Excuse me. Yep, this is like a huge stuffed crust shaped in the form of a pretzel. And if you have the powders that you can like sprinkle on the edges of the crust traditionally on a pizza, I recommend that too. You know, like there's like, I mean, if you don't have it, you can also, what I would probably use is, you know, like if you go to like a popcorn shop and they have like different flavors and seasonings you can put into your popcorn, I would use that. Just use a powder, because you know they have like jalapenos and ranch, and they have like all those like amazing different type of flavors. So just use that and sprinkle it onto the edges. And this is such a simple recipe. I would make this again. Totally. Probably a gluten-free version, but I would totally make this again. And just, you know, add the butter and garlic before I actually bake it. I might not do it in the pretzel shape again. I might do it in the form of the huge hot pocket. And you know, this would be really good too. I wonder if like in the inside you put like crumpled sausage in there. That would be really good. Sausage on the outside, I wonder if it'll be hard. Maybe in the pretzel shape it'll be hard for like the sausage to stick. Great job, Tasty. Great job. Very delicious. And you got me to use pizza crust from a can. It was very good. I would definitely recommend this for everybody. I'm not eating the second one because I'm so full. I'll save this one for later though. That was bigger than I thought. Thanks for watching, everybody. Another episode of Tassie reviewing tasty treats.